Right, in today's video, I'm going to be watching Mark Wahlberg's 4 a.m. workout with James Corden, going through the exercises, seeing if they're conducive to hypertrophy or if they're good for sport in general, as well as if you should be doing early morning workouts, particularly at 4 a.m. or if that's too early. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, just please stay along and let's get into it. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess that a shower here is not cold, but for the sake of the argument, cold showers are fantastic in the morning. You have really high cortisol when you first wake up, and the other day this kind of depletes, but for a lot of people, specifically like people that drink coffee like myself, you just feel really groggy in the first hour of the morning. And a cold shower, like first 5 minutes, just means you're only groggy for those first 5. And afterwards, you have this, your heart's beating faster, you feel alive, you feel awake, you'll feel cold as well, but you'll warm up. And it's just a great way to start the day.
According to Mark Wahlberg's Instagram schedule, he's praying right now. And so am I. I'm praying that he cancels.
Now, kind of the purpose of a morning routine is to either get you in the gym or the workplace or wherever else, but for a day-to-day life, it's either of those things. And Mark Wahlberg is up in the gym an hour after waking up and doesn't really have fluff time, and that's solid. Like a lot of people, you'll look on Instagram, you'll see these 3-4 hour morning routines, and you're like, what are you possibly accomplishing with this? You're just wasting time at a certain point. Like, it's fun to have routine, it feels productive, but like 4 hours of morning routine before you get to the gym, before you get to the office, like, you're just wasting your time. Like, it would have literally been better spent sleeping.
I mean, I've never seen these roads so quiet.
Now, James Corden is real tired here and obviously not amped up for the workout. And that's a problem a lot of people, including myself, have in those morning workouts, which is why your morning routine prior to it is so important. I've heard it a million times on this channel, but like, mindset is so important for what you're going to get out of the gym. And they did this rat study way back when, and they had 2 groups of rats, and one was on an electronic rat wheel, so they had to run when it turned on, and the other was on a rat wheel that spun freely, so like whenever the rat decided to exercise, they would exercise. And what they found is, although they did the exact same amount of exercise, minute per minute, speed for speed, the rats that were forced to exercise, they lost bone mineral density, they lost cardiovascular health, they lost muscle mass, they just broke down. Their bodies broke down. But the rats that chose to exercise because they wanted to, they had improved muscularity, improved cardiovascular health, improved bone mineral density. Like, choice is so powerful, and if you go into the gym with the choice that you're going to have a fantastic workout, you're going to kill it, that you have desire, you're gracious that you even have the chance to work out, you're going to get so much more out of it than if you just drag your feet and wish it was over.
This is ridiculous. What are you doing? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever.
Man, he has a good home gym.
Everybody just woke up.
Nobody's up. Nobody's up yet.
Yeah, but why are we doing this?
Shh, the kids are sleeping.
I've seen one car on the journey here.
One car?
One car.
Isn't it nice and peaceful though? When you get up, so you got.
I was more peaceful when I was flat out asleep. I was completely peaceful.
The workout's gonna suck.
There's this kind of like egotistical idea in just all sport in general, but I think it pertains to the gym a lot too, and that's like, the worse you feel afterwards, the harder you push yourself, the more you're gonna get out of it. And the ego comes from like, I push myself harder than anybody else, I feel the worst after my workouts compared to everybody else, but like, in truth, feeling bad, your workout sucking, does not mean it's a good workout. In fact, it probably means you're overtraining or doing odd exercises that don't actually like correspond to your goals at hand.
Right?
It's gonna suck, I just gotta be honest with you. But when you have a shake and some turkey burgers after, you'll feel great.
Okay.
Then you're gonna go and attack the rest of the day.
I'm gonna go back to bed.
Are you gonna go back to bed?
Of course I am. It's the middle of the night.
All we're gonna do is lie down on these mats and foam roll and stretch.
Now, stretching should best be held for the end of the workout. There's 2 reasons for this. Number 1 is if you're a strength athlete, you have something known as a stretch reflex, and it's just the elasticity of your muscles helping you lift that weight up. It makes sense, right? And if you stretch your muscles, you lose that elasticity. So it's best to do that at the end of the workout because you'll have it again for your next workout, the reflex it is, and you can still have mobility. Because stretching is good for you, don't get me wrong, but it should just be done at the end of the workout. And the second reason is hypertrophy, and the methodology here is, around each of your muscle fibers, there's this membrane called fascia, and it wraps it really tightly and constricts this room to grow. And when you stretch your muscles, you're actually stretching this fascia, allowing more room where your muscles can then grow into. And you may think, well, it's completely fine if I stretch in the beginning of my workout, and this is true from a hypertrophy standpoint. The difference is, if you stretch with blood already in your muscles, you're going to get a much gnarlier stretch, much more room for these muscles to grow than if you stretch with cold muscles, because that blood flow is preemptively stretching that fascia, and then any amount of stretching you do is force applied on top of that pre-stretched fascia. So it's just better to do it at the end of your workout than before. And although it doesn't hurt hypertrophy to do before, if you're going to do it at the end anyway, you might as well only do it at the end. And then also you'll be able to apply more force through your workout because of that stretch reflex we talked about earlier. So all in all, it's just a lot smarter to do stretching and foam rolling at the end of your workout.
Sure. I thought we were doing a workout.
that's the start. We're gonna
I can lie down. Lying down is not a problem. Oh, I see. You're full of. This is just to get away from the family. You say I'm going to work out, and you just lie down and have a snooze. It's like this, and be like.
You didn't go to bed last night until 10:30?
Oh, at least, yeah.
What were you doing?
Being a normal person.
And so here we see James Corden just sacrifice sleep to wake up early. Like, I think what you guys need to realize is, like, waking up early isn't a good thing. It's just a thing. Like, it doesn't make a hair of a difference for your productivity if you get up at 5 a.m. or 9 a.m., assuming you're awake for the same amount of hours. Like, it's completely fine that you wake up and go straight to work and go to the gym afterwards. And just as it's completely fine if you go to the gym before work and you get up at 3 a.m., as long as you get the same amount of sleep. And that's the problem, is if you can't get enough sleep waking up early, then you should wake up later. Like, sleep is the #1 priority for fitness, for well-being, for longevity, for mental health. Like, you just need to value it, and getting up early and getting enough sleep works for some people, but I think the vast majority of people, it just doesn't work. And that's the real flaw with these 4 a.m., 3 a.m. guys, 5 a.m. It doesn't actually help you. It just sounds cool, and you can post about it on social media.
That was being a normal person and going to sleep. I don't even know if I'm still awake or this is some sort of weird dream. Just grinding on the floor in Mark Wahlberg's house.
When I got my 2:45 wake up today,
Yeah.
I laid in the bed till 3:05.
Well, it turns out this video is just me telling you to sleep more. I thought it'd be about working out. But if you're setting your alarm and then laying in bed 30 minutes after, you've just wasted those 30 minutes, and like, they'd be much better spent sleeping than half awake in this grog, dazed, confused state, not wanting to get up. So like, just set your alarm 30 minutes later, but make a vow to yourself to get up the second it goes off, instead of laying in bed, moseying around. You're just gonna have a much higher quality of life in general.
And I was like, I knew I wasn't gonna fall back to sleep because I had to pee. I was like, okay, I could doze off for a second.
So you do 2 meals. See, that appeals to me. What I realise is I've been doing the 2 breakfasts without the workouts.
Put the workout in there.
That's where I might be going wrong.
If you want to get in like top shape. So
I'll settle for like bottom shape. I'll take just like, I'll take bad shape.
when the girls get older, the boys start coming over, ringing the bell.
Yeah.
You gotta be ready.
Yeah,
You gotta be ready. There's a whole other fight in front of you that
I'll just say I know Mark Wahlberg. So don't mess with me, because I'll call him, he'll come over, provided it's before 5 p.m., otherwise he'll be asleep.
Okay, this is the kind of workout you do as like an elementary schooler in PE class, or somebody just starting to get into fitness at all who just needs movement. Like, this is not something Mark Wahlberg, who's been training forever, should be doing. It's not doing anything for him. Just, like, jumping around a little bit, it's not making a hair of a difference for his fitness or cardiovascular or just anything. Like, he is more than fit enough to do this in his sleep. It doesn't help him. Now, if you do want to get the most out of this exercise, go all the way down and try to pop up from that, like, bottom position, like, with your knee on the floor, your muscle stretch. It'll be really difficult, and you'll actually get something out of it.
Oh, we're cutting the grass. We're cutting the grass.
Stand tall though, get that shoulders back.
Oh my God.
So it's obvious they're doing some sort of like cardio circuit. I'm not a big fan of these. I feel like they're kind of Frankenstein together and haphazard. And the problem there is you lose the nuance of working towards a goal, which makes it so much easier to stick to something in the long term. Because now, like, you're doing your rope swings and you're doing your rock climbers and you're doing your yada 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 yada. But it's not for the purpose of achieving something specific. It's more for the general idea of health. And if instead you say, I want to run a sub 20-minute 5K, and you're doing your running workouts, you're doing thresholds, you're doing long runs, everything's structured towards that specific goal, it's so much easier to be like consistent and motivated for it, versus if you're doing this like kind of concoction of things. It's like, why am I doing these rock climbers?
4, 3, 2, come on. More. One more. You gotta get to 0. One more.
What do you mean one more? What is 0? Oh, shut up. No one counts 0.
I'm really impressed with the effort here. Like, James Corden looks like he's giving a good bit. Obviously, he's giving some yet back to Mark Wahlberg, but like all in all, it's obviously he's putting in solid effort. So we gotta congratulate him for that.
Shut up.
Yeah.
See, now I feel like we're in a boy band and I'm enjoying it. Everybody.
Sing. Hey, we need music.
Yeah.
Come on.
Rock your body.
See, this is the energy you gotta bring to work. I'm impressed again with James Corden. Like, this is solid, positive, fun energy. The gym should be a fun place. It's not meant to be this like super hard alpha draining like force yourself in their place. It should be fun. It should be sing and dance. You know, like you should enjoy it. It's genuinely like a blessing to be able to work at.
Press and pull. There you go.
Now, this is a really stupid exercise for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's going to be super difficult to calibrate the weight if you do calibrate at all, so you get the same number of reps. And if you don't calibrate the weight, then one muscle is going to fail way sooner than the other, and that's going to be the only one you're training, and the other one is like not doing anything. Secondly, this is like more fatiguing, so all you're doing is making you're going to have more rest. If instead you did one and then superset it with the other, you get so much more out of these. Secondly, you can't get the same mind-muscle connection because you're doing completely opposite things, so you can't think about your muscles the same. And thirdly, lastly, like now you've introduced more skill into this movement, more nuance, so now like as you're trying to push yourself, you're going to have to be doing more things at the same time, and you just won't be able to have the same stability to push yourself as hard as you possibly could, which is like often what's necessary for muscle growth. Often, like the more skill you add to an exercise, the worse it is for hypertrophy, and that's kind of a rule for everything. And I kind of imagine throughout this video, we'll see, but I think there's going to be a lot more of these like high skill, low practicality, low hypertrophy movements that kind of just look cool for Instagram, but don't actually do anything for your own journey.
Oh, God! Okay. I don't know what happened there. I think it might be the ground. Is this level? Is this completely flat? Feels like it might be a slight on an incline. You might want to look at that.
Okay, immediately proves my point. So, like, James Corden obviously cannot push himself, like, muscularity-wise at all because he's focusing on keeping his feet up on the yoga ball. Why is there a yoga ball? Don't ask me. Like, if you want to change which head of your chest you're hitting by elevating your feet, that's completely fine, but do it on a stable platform. Like, there's no reason to add this level of instability. And secondly, you see Mark Wahlberg, the example, and he's doing these tiny little baby reps in this highly contracted position, which is the worst for hypertrophy. Generally, if you're going to do partial reps, do it in a lengthened position, which has been shown to be much more conducive to actually growing muscle, growing strength, because it's a lot harder on your muscles to be stretched. And doing these tiny little baby reps is so pointless. It literally does nothing except maybe give you a pump in the short term, but absolutely like no hypertrophic gains are coming out of this. And secondly, he put his hands on these little stilts, and normally you do that so you can go even further down. So instead of the floor being your barrier, you're able to go past that because your arms are now longer, if that makes sense. And doing these baby reps on the stilts for his hands, it's just so stupid. Like, it's obviously Mark Wahlberg does not have the best grasp of what a good gym routine is, and does a lot of things tailored just to look cool.
Do you always work out in front of a cardboard cutout of yourself?
No, I
All right, let's do it.
don't. Nice. Double jump. Nice. Oh, he knows his
Yeah.
So obviously this looks stupid here and it's not a joke, but it's actually not the stupidest thing ever to do this. Assuming you're alone, obviously you might not want to do this in a public gym crowded, prancing around without a rope underneath you, but it means you're not going to have it be caught underfoot. You know what? You're not limited now by this skill. And if you want to get better at the skill of jump rope, you can do that totally, but like pogo hops, jumping around, moving your arms, like it's all movement, it's all cardio. It's all going to be just as fine for you. Like, he's not getting any worse of a workout than Mark Wahlberg, who has the rope. And especially if you're getting into it and you just want to move around and when you try to jump rope, you get caught up, like it might be worth just moving around without the rope itself.
That was so quick, you probably couldn't see the rope. But it was there. It was totally there. Look at this, Mark.
What you got?
I made us some merch.
Oh, nice.
It's me and you.
Oh, hell yeah.
The 4 a.m. club.
Hell yeah.
And it's been a merch. This video is sponsored by www.merchandise. No, I'm just fucking with you. I don't have any sponsors, nor do I have merchandise. But if you like me, this is a great time to subscribe. You've made it like 14 minutes into this video, so there's probably like 2 people that have actually made it this far. But if you're one of those people and you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it. But if not, that's totally fine too. Just have like a wonderful day, man. That's all that matters.
You look a little more jacked than me.
Oh, that's weird. I do look more, yeah. I don't know why that happened. I just said to the guy, imagine what I look like with my top off. Then imagine what Mark looks like, and they just did it.
Man, again, we see Mark Wahlberg just training like a 14-year-old boy in the gym for the first time. Like, he does these tiny, quick baby reps. Like, he's just chasing a pump, and he's not really getting anything out of it. If instead he slowed that tempo down, went nice and low, felt a stretch on the bottom, got a little bit uncomfortable, like, he would get so much more to this workout than these, like, tiny, bouncing around, like, frantic little pump reps that he's doing. Man, that is some impressive speed bag work. If you guys have ever hit one of these, there was one at the old gym I went to, so I have this one for a while, but I tried punching for that time. It is hard to get that rhythm going. He's obviously doing a good job at it. Again, if you're doing this for the sole sake of cardio, it's probably not the best just because you're going to get caught up, the ball's going to move around, but it's really great for hand-eye coordination, so if that's what you're training, I think speedball is a really great tool for that. Just don't think that you're going to get the best, if any, cardio workout from it.
How long have we got to go now?
Well, this pretty much concludes the warm-up, so now we're gonna start the workout.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Huh?
I'm out.
You got something to
I'm
do?
out. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow.
Are you coming tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be here about midnight.
Oh, nice.
I'll get a couple of hours in before you wake up.
That reminds me of like last summer. I had a job that sort of started later in the day and went on pretty late, and I'd get home and I'd be exhausted, drink some pre-workout, but I wouldn't even get to the gym till like midnight, and I'd be in there till like 2 a.m. every night, which is a different direction than Mark Wahlberg means when he goes to the gym at 2 a.m. But I think it's funny just because how bad my sleep schedule was back then. Anyway, it looks like they're done with their workout, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.